Good evening, gentlemen. Hello. Hey there, Katsuni Bellhound. How you guys doing? As you can see by my my very elegant mustache, I am ready. I am ready to investigate. Got my Watson cap on. Let's go. Looking respectfully at my mustache. Do you like the mustache? It's very elegant, I know. But yeah, I came up on this game. This is the Innsmouth case, and they look interesting. So I thought I'd give it a try. So basically, the summary reads as such: a desperate mother, a missing girl, and a mystical place. A case could hardly be more challenging. To solve the enigmatic disappearance of little Tabitha Marsh, however, the toughest and cleverest detective of all is wanted. But he does not have the time, and so the job goes to you. Let's go? This mysterious assignment takes you to the remote fishing village of Innsmouth, where nothing is what it seems. It says it's a detective adventure in the style of an interactive book inspired by the fantastical works of horror legend H.P. Lovecraft. But apparently it's a mixture of horror and humor. So I don't know, we'll see how that goes. Also has 27 endings apparently, but I don't think I'll do all of them. But yeah, I'm just gonna share a link in case anyone wants to check it out by themselves. But I'll probably share it again at the end. But with all that said, let me actually open the game and jump into the game. Game Doko. The internet experience. Play. No game open. Yes. Yes. Out. Oh wow, that's loud. You should hear the music. I'm gonna lower it a little. Oh yeah, let's go! Game capture, yeah, there we go, let's go. Everything's good, everything's good, everything's good. Yeah. Also, the game is in English and German, in case anyone is interested, I guess. Hey, Bellhound! But, yeah, let's go! As always, do let me know at any moment if the audio, if the game audio is too low or too high, or if my voice is too low or too high, etc, 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 etc. Oh, hey. I just Boston, Massachusetts, your office. Forward. We are fans of the strange world of Innsmouth, but we recognize the problematic beliefs of H.P. Lovecraft. This game has been produced by a group of people who believe in inclusion and equality. Okay. I actually don't know much about Lovecraft. So... Your progress in the story will be saved at the end of each chapter. There are 35 chapters in total. Sheesh! At the end of a chapter, the screen fades to black and a green save icon appears at the bottom right of the screen. I'm assuming it's the one that's flashing right now. The disclaimer is kinda needed? Okay. I'll take your guys' words for it. We recommend you always end the game after such a save point to make sure none of your progress is lost. Very important to know. We like the lore this man made, but not his opinions. Valid. The last rays of sunshine filter through the blinds of your empty office. The pathetic stench of whiskey, cold cigarette smoke, and canned ravioli fills the air. The squirting tires and constant beeping of car horns out there on the street tell you that it's gone 8 p.m. People are on their way home, finishing their day. You should join them. Oh, we start right away. I mean, I guess if it's 8 p.m. we should go home. Right? I'm not staying extra hours. You breathe a deep sigh. It may not have been a successful day, but at least it's over. You are looking forward to a classic Friday night, watching old mystery series at home in sweatpants and getting drunk on cheap booze. Okay, that sounds fun though. Since the early afternoon, you have been staring at the foreboding bottle of liquor at the other end of the room. Up until now, a vague sense of professionalism has kept you from drinking yourself into oblivion. Now nothing stands in the way. I'm gonna lower the volume for me a little. My ears are in pain. Hey, commandos! Suddenly you hear someone at the door. Who is it? The door slowly cracks open with a timid creak. The unknown guest pauses. Then, in a breathy and melodic tone, you hear a woman utter, "Hello?" Your insides cramp. You suddenly realize that you haven't cleaned your office at all this year. Oh no! A woman! Quickly try to clean up. I look for a thank you, lamb. Hello. Wait a minute, wait! You shout in a pitch that is at least 2 octaves higher than intended. Woman! There's no time to pick up all the crumpled pieces of paper on the floor. You gaze across the total mess on your desk. A weird, undefinable cross has formed in the wood. You've never noticed that before. You try to hide it by putting some unpaid bills over them. They get stuck immediately. Nice. Nice? That doesn't sound nice. Oh, so it is all like a book like this? That's kind of fun, actually. By the light of the desk lamp, you now see more than a silhouette. A breathtaking woman lights up your office. Not that older than 40, maybe even 50. Hard to say. Clad in black, a skin-tight dress culminating in a décolleté that seems to defy the laws of gravity. Décolleté. I don't know what that is. A smoky eyeshadow as dark as Okay. Interesting comparison. A smoky eyeshadow as dark as algae washed ashore. Blonde, coiffed, wavy hair under a dark beret. The faint light of the setting sun catches in the strands of her hair, and you wonder how many heads this woman must have turned during her prime. She's completely different from your usual customers. Nervous bankers with sweat stains under their armpits, convinced their wives have something going with the mailman. Every move she makes is calculated grace. Smooth as a nail, she walks towards you and sits down on the corner of your desk. Why so many C allegories? Which makes you blush? Woman? I do like that option though. Which is a little bold, without asking you first, but as a professional you're not giving anything away. She seems to want to play the seductive damsel in distress. The quiet, amused voice of your subconscious is pleased that this stranger may be sharing your enthusiasm for film noir clichés. Crook's voice smooth? Of course. A far louder voice is surprised that this woman seems to think that a sexy pose and revealing clothes could win you over. And both voices agree that they don't like being manipulated. You don't think that the stranger perched on your table is trying to recover from a hard-working day as a lingerie model, and therefore you see no logical reason for her behavior. When she begins to speak, her voice is smoky and full of promise. My name is Dahlia Marsh. I'm looking for a private investigator. I was told you are one of the best. Kiss her hand. Sheesh! You've come to the right place, lady. Sounds like Lina Koseka got it. Oh no, I'm going to imagine her with her voice from now on. Mommy? I'm gonna play it cool. You come to the right place, lady. What can I do for you? You sit back in your chair and fold your hands over your stomach. The woman seems a little irritated that her provocative behavior seems to have had no effect on you. She moves from the edge of the desk and sits down on the chair opposite you. Yes, She clears her throat. As she continues to speak, the smoky seductiveness creeps back into her voice. My name is Dahlia. I need help. You know how one option is decline, right away. Ask for more details. It's about my daughter Tabitha. She has disappeared. You're putting out paper and pencil. This is gonna be a walk in the park. A walk in the kidnapped kids park. What? Well, when did you last see her, and where? The one puts on a fake smile. We live in Innsmouth. It's a small port town north of Arkham. It's past quitting time, get out! You frown. This is a bit vague. What was your child doing when you last saw her? What hobbies did she have? Oh, you know, cute stuff. They just run around and play with their yo-yos, that sort of thing. Are you sure? Of course. Where are you hiding, lady? Dahlia nervously combs her hands through her hair. Does your daughter have any friends? Yo-yos? What about her father? What does your daughter look like? Yo-yos? Hold on. Yo-yos? Ring ring, can you hear that? It's the 90s calling, and they want their outdated toys back. Dahlia blushes. Normally you will find this quite attractive, but the case of a missing girl beckons, and you're already unconvinced by the way this woman pretends to be a mother. She remains silent. Confront her. Something's fishy here. You have a nose for this sort of thing. That's why you became a private investigator. Or, to be more precise, that's why you took an online detective course that, for a one-off fee, provided the necessary qualification. Let's fucking go! Pretends to be a mom, she is Nina. Nina is a mom in all good blood, okay? It's time to take your visitor to task. You look at her closely. Why do you come to me? Has your daughter really disappeared? Whoa, Shiangi! Has your daughter really disappeared? You simply can't help questioning her further. Her story simply doesn't wash. Although it's exactly what your instructor warned you about. You're sticking to your principles. Dahlia's mouth becomes even more pinched, something you didn't think possible. I resent this insolence. Of course she's disappeared. What do you take me for? You stare at one another. The only sound in the room was the roar of the rush hour traffic creeping in through the window. Dahlia's face remains motionless, icy, and you have neither evidence nor arguments to back up your suspicions. She still seems angry, but she also seems desperate and dependent on your services. Okay, but why? More questions. Okay, what does she look like? She's only 8, and the sweetest girl you can imagine. She's been missing without a trace since last week. None of her schoolmates have seen her, and no one knows where she might have gone. She hands you a photo. Look, this is my little munchkin. What was with the close-up? Good heavens. Is this supposed to be a joke? Is that really the face of a child, or a shoddy photo edit? Are you being filmed as part of a reality TV show? A bit of stomach acid and the last bite of lunch slowly but surely make their way up into the back of your mouth. Can I punch them? The child or the lady? You threw up or swallowed? Ew. I mean, we can't throw up in front of the customer, I guess. Ew. Child. Still yes. With narrow eyes you swallow the vial and involuntarily pull a face. Dahlia continues to look at you hopefully. She obviously didn't notice your little mishap. That was close. It could have been unpleasant. I'm so desperate her eyes look at yours. Don't you think there's something strange about your child? Okay, let's not be that much of an asshole. Does she have any friends? Does your daughter have any friends she might be staying with? Classmates, sport club members, anything like that? Dahlia silently shakes her head. Very strange. You're about to ask if the gear at least had imaginary friends, but you hold back. Sheesh! Your child is not normal! Hey, Ferrari. What about her father? What about Tamira's father? Are you separated? Often children reappear with family members. Dahlia smiles sadly. My little one can't swim well enough for that yet. Ah? What? Your pen remains on the same spot on the notepad. What was that supposed to be? Is her father Cthulhu? Dahlia's about to continue. Let her talk? Dig deeper. What do you mean dig deeper? Dig deeper on what? On the fact of what she said? Excuse me, but you're struggling to find the right words to respond to the cryptic statement. What the hell do you mean by that? The kid can't swim enough. Dahlia turns up her nose. She doesn't seem comfortable with you asking personal questions. Still, she responds. Oh, just an old saying in our village. She smiles, but it doesn't reach her eyes. Okay, but that doesn't explain me anything. Dahlia turns her gaze away from you and looks dreamily, no, longingly out the window. Her father was a fisherman, like most in the village. A few years ago he went out to sea but never returned. His boat was washed ashore weeks later. His colleagues told me that he had finally followed the call of the waves. You keep quiet for a moment. Deceased family members are always a sensitive subject. My sincere condolences. She seems calm. Oh, somehow I always knew that moment would come. I think my husband is in a better place now, and at some point, I'll join him. You take a closer look at Dahlia's outfit. Judging by her behavior and clothes, you never would have taken her to be a fisherman's wife. True. Financial situation now. Details of the case? Okay. Enough further questions. I have enough further questions, you mumble, more to yourself than to her. Dahlia stretches her neck imperceptibly. No doubt she would like to take a look at your notebook. Your pen hovers over the notes you've taken. Missing daughter, dirty lady. That's it, you work with less. Okay, but you could have taken more notes. Are you going to take the case or not? I mean, sure? You nod. A missing persons case. Nothing unusual. The conventional little girl runs away from home after reading her first romance novel. Usually they hide at the edge of the forest or in a library, but she's 8. Should be pretty straightforward. What happens if you reject it? Good question. I am curious, but also I'm like, what if he just ends the game? And it only saves at the end of each chapter, so I'm like, Before you can say anything, she drops a photo of the child and a roll of bills on your desk. For your expenses. There is a speedrun ace. Speedrun struts. You nod slowly, trying not to drool down the front of your shirt. You haven't seen this much money in ages. Damn. You don't have much time to prepare. A quick search reveals that only one bus goes to Innsmouth, and only once a day. A pattern emerges in your research. The few news items related to this little coastal town are all about missing persons. In addition, you find some rather old-fashioned articles that praise the coastal town as a secret holiday destination. The best fish. Untouched beach promenade. Authentic fishing people are the recurring boss. Authentic fishing people? What does that mean? Dahlia has given you the address at which you're supposed to drop off her daughter as soon as you find her. She also wrote down her phone number on the child's photo. You take another look at the picture before you pack your things. Beautiful. By hitchhiking? Actually, I'm curious. I mean, do we go by bus or do we hitchhike, guys? I kind of feel like you could meet interesting people in both. What was Ikusa? Okay, we hitchhike. We gotta save that money. And that's the end of the first chapter. Boston Park and Ride. It was September 22nd. Your fingers gently stroked the banknotes inside your coat as you leave your apartment at dawn. Only with your dead body will you waste this money for actual expenses. You never had good experiences with public transportation, so you've decided to give hitchhiking a go. At this time, you usually still run around in bed, restlessly, for another 2 hours or so. You are at a park and ride area, which is located at an intersection of 2 country roads. This is where students and low-income earners meet to share the full cost of a long trip, and you often see nomads and vagabonds trying to catch a free ride. You're confident you won't be put in the last category, at least not today. Loud clouds hang in the Boston sky. The air is grey, cold and wet, and the progress of your mission depends on the charity and compassion of strangers. Your mood is optimistic for now. You get a good feeling about this. The secret is to make a good impression, so as not to scare away any potential opportunities. It's best to hide your true character until you're in the car. This is definitely going to work, you confidently say out loud. People close to you give you some worried looks. A little girl whose family has just parked their fully loaded van points wordlessly at you. Her mother takes note of you and turns up her mouth. Look, ma'am, a poor person! The little one finally delivers her verdict cheerfully. Poor? That's really an exaggeration of the facts, and on top of that, rude. Threatened to beat her up! A poor here? Explain to the little girl the difference between being poor and being a freelance. Child abuse speedrun. 3 times to beat her up. Just ignore the kid. Kids do not understand the complexity of adult life, the sacrifices one has to make for an exciting life. As a not very successful private detective, soon the child loses interest in you and runs back to his parents. It's time to consider the options. 3 other hitchhikers have positioned themselves at the exit of the parking lot. A student couple and a punk with a towel around his shoulders. Every now and then a car stops and the driver winds down the windshield to have a few words with them. Join them, I guess, if the car are stopping. Seems like the smart thing to do. These people seem to be experienced hitchhikers. Maybe you can learn from them. Hey, you call out to the couple, hesitantly waving your hand. Hey, says the one. Hey, says the other. There you go. Communication! Wave at cars. Where are you headed? You ask the others. The young couple exchanges insecure looks. Springfield. The one mumbles without looking you in the eye. The two are probably not prepared for conversations with other travelers. The punk ignores you. He has already flagged down a car and is talking to his driver. He disappears in the passenger door. You stand at the edge of the exit of the parking lot and just act normal. Throw yourself into provocative pose. You know what? That's right. One leg sticking out of the trench coat, angled suggestively, your hand on your hip. That's how you present yourself to passing cars. Ah yes. Sexy private investigator. My favorite Halloween costume. Fiery but not easy, and an uncut diamond on the roadside. The young couple looks over at you and their eyes widen. Admiration, you're quite certain, and a pitch of envy. You challenge their glances and move your leg back and forth. She slowly raises her hand and covers her mouth. He bites his lower lip softly. A horn pulls you back into reality. An old VW bus stops next to you. The car is sprinkled with peace symbols. No hippies. The driver winds down his window and green smoke escapes the car. Let's... What? What do you mean green smoke? Hot moves, wow! The driver laughs in a rough voice. You stare into the face of the modern hipster. Or is he a surfer bro after all? Hard to say. A complicated and at the same time messy man bun, paired with a tasteless hippie shirt. Oh no, not the man bun. Hesitantly, you examine your first option sooners. Forever. I'm Lonnie. The young man grins at you warmly. I'm slightly worried that he approached me while I was doing the sexy pose. You wonder if he can actually see you through the wilds of course that still cover his face. Looks trustworthy, I know, right? Looks like he definitely knows how to drive. Young man, are you on drugs? Young man, are you on drugs? You ask Lonnie, folding your arms. He gasps for air in indignation, and then has a coughing fit. Whoa, so I'm against all kinds of drugs, ma'am, sir. Except like therapeutic stuff. Therapeutic? Crap, that means he won't share anything. What? Excuse me? That was your concern? Lonnie leans further out of the window. The clouds of smoke rising behind him suggest that his seat is on fire. What's the deal? No road, man. Damn. Good question. Let's fucking go, I guess. I don't even know where he's going, but let's fucking go. I'll make you answer, and Lonnie's grin becomes even wider. Whoa, let's get going! You sprint around the bus. Lonnie has already opened the passenger door. A few cans of orange lemonade clatter on the asphalt and drop in front of your shoes. You pause for a moment and take a look at all the trash inside the minibus. It takes some serious commitment to mess up your car like that. This guy was a real expert at being messy. You wonder where to put your briefcase. Hey, Joe! Between the crumpled slips of paper under the passenger seat, next to the rotten tomato plant in the storage room, on top of the unwashed clothes behind the seat. Under the passenger seat? That's what makes sense. Keep it close, you know? You stow away the bag and try to wipe off the transparent film of slime that now sticks to your hand. Lonnie makes a train driver arm gesture. Choo-choo! Let's roll! He pushes down the gas pedal and the bus starts moving. Nervously, you watch Lonnie play around with the control knob of his old car radio while you're approaching a junction. But maybe intentionally, or maybe just by chance, the traffic light turns green just in time. The bus drives on at a steady pace, and the cars in front of you start moving just in time, so Lonnie doesn't run into anyone. Cozy. Enjoy the ride? I guess I don't even know where we're going. I didn't ask this guy where we're going. Hopefully we're going to Innsmouth, if not I guess we'll see. You sit back and relax. A turbine engine of a crashing airplane could fall on you at any moment, or you will choke on a piece of vegan chocolate. Life is too short to worry constantly. Lonnie has finally found a station with 90s punk rock that he likes. Time flies. Despite various distractions, some of which have to do with his therapy, Lonnie manages not to cause an accident and somehow seamlessly weaves into the other traffic. Okay, but where are we going? The air in the car is stuffy and makes you sleepy. For the first time in many months, you feel relaxed and you're sure that everything is going to be fine. If you give your best on this job, there's an actual chance that you will find the girl, bag the money, and emerge as the hero of the story. Oh, we are going to Innsmouth. Let's go. So what brings you to Innsmouth, man? Holiday? Then it tears you out of your brains. Mention your mission. I'm investigating a private matter. I'm supposed to find a little girl who ran away from home. At first, you're not quite sure whether you should be further distracting Lonnie from the traffic, but you have to admit that so far he's been exemplary with the traffic rules. You fished a little Polaroid photo out of your coat pocket and held it up to him. Don't show it to him while he's driving. Lonnie whistles. Wow, the little one has really huge eyes. Shouldn't be hard to find. Is that a disease or something? You knew it! You look more closely at the picture. The child does look strange, but Dahlia hadn't mentioned any illness. I don't think so, you mumble evasively. You write down your phone number on one of the countless pieces of paper lying around in the car. Lonnie promises to call if he finds Tabitha, but you're sure he will get her as soon as he catches the sea breeze. But who knows? The more eyes, the better. Satisfied, you pocket the Polaroid photo. Where are you going to take the conversation next? Hey, Koji, hello! How are you doing? The Fable Koji raid had arrived. Hello. Or were you playing Fable? Yes, Fable 3. How was the Fable? Why is my mode one so weird? Oh well. I was Q11. I understand. Yes, I see. It was great, let's go. Guys, welcome. We're playing the Innsmouth case. It's a detective adventure story, and it's all like kind of like this adventure book. We're trying to find a girl with very big creepy eyes. Also, this reminds me of, I think I have mentioned it sometime before, long ago. It reminds me of like one time one of my classmates had like, you know, this little, I don't know how popular they were, but he had one of these little like choose your adventure books, but like an actual book. You know, so he will read us like the situation on the page, and then we will have a few options to choose from. And like depending on which option, he will move like to a certain page and like continue reading. It was interesting. I don't know how they're called, or if they're common, regular, or if they're still being made. Like, do those things still exist? They were popular here when I was a kid. Those still exist. I could read you guys adventures. we could do a choose your own adventure chat. If I get one. Where are you going to take the conversation next? But yeah, how do you look this up? How would they call? These days we call them D&D. Where are you staying? Be silent and relax. Where are you staying? Get as much information as we can, I guess. Where are you staying? Lottie makes a gesture to the back of the van. What do you think? You don't even need to look back there yourself. You remember the cows very well. Always popular at school food fairs. Yeah, that was the only time I've seen one of those, to be honest. Park on the beach, surf all day, have a few drinks in the evening, and then off for a snooze in the back of the van. It couldn't be cheaper. Indeed. You let yourself sink a little deeper into the upholstery. Me and my sister wanna do that someday, you know, see if we can rent one of those vans or something and just kind of road trip. But like, in this economy, I don't know. You let yourself sink a little deeper into the upholstery. Slowly but steadily, the bus chugs through the countryside. Not the fastest, but definitely a cost-effective way to move around. And the best thing, Tori hasn't mentioned anything about sharing the gas money yet. You hit the jackpot. With this blissful thought, you drift into a light sleep. Am I gonna wake up without organs? Innsmouth, town limits, over here. Camping in a van or something in a national park sounds nice. I mean, after my experience in the national park the other day, I don't know, national parks are scary at night. At some point, the vehicle leaves the country road and turns near a wooden sign. It says Innsmouth, written in big red letters which are slowly filling up the sign. Your journey continues along a narrow and bumpy country lane with lots of potholes. In the distance, you can already make out a few houses. Seagulls are circling the roofs of the far side of the coastal town. You approach another wooden sign with the words Cars on Diversion scrawled on it messily. An arrow underneath points to the right. What does that mean? Cars on Diversion. The sign points away from the road that leads directly to Innsmouth, presumably a diversion. You are sure that the other board directly underneath, with the words Other Routes, actually points in the direction leading directly into town. Odd. God is already indicating and wants to turn to the diversion lane. I mean, if I'm understanding, if I'm following, he's saying that they're making the cars go through another route that kind of, it's longer, I guess, doesn't go directly into town. You'd rather not follow the diversion. And we just continue straight ahead? We're nearly there anyway. Totally not sus, I know, right? Lonnie scratches his chin and indeed steps on the brakes. It looks like he's in agreement with you about the diversion. You know what? You're right, let's do it. Lonnie switches off the turn signal and continues to follow the direct road into town. Let's go. Good thing he's very hard to convince. How strange. Your van drives past a huge scrapyard? Parking lot? All the way out here in the middle of nowhere, so far out from the actual town? You pass another wooden sign. In flake of letters, it tells you this is supposed to be the Innsmouth Park and Rest area. A lot of the cars give off the impression that they've been parked here for a very long time, potentially years. Fine sand has covered the bonnets and windscreens. Fallen leaves gather next to deflated tires. Some of the cars have started going rusty. The minivan continues along the road, passing the first small old houses. The change from the country road to an even brick road only minimally improves the journey, except Lonnie, who seems delighted. Dude! He shouts enthusiastically. He puts a heavy metal CD into the CD player and turns the volume all the way up to 11. He starts headbanging, of course. The CD player is struggling mightily with the brake road and interrupts the music every other beat to buffer for at least 5 seconds. Ah yes, good old classic CD players from cars. Lonnie does not seem fazed by this. You're pretty sure this is what hell must be like. If we took the bus, we couldn't have seen any of this. Yeah, probably, because I thought you can tell the bus driver to be like, hey, don't go there. Unless. Oh, that reminds me of the time I read a story of like this guy that took over a bus like at night to go to Tim Hortons. I don't know what's more Canadian than that. The endless fields and meadows have turned into much narrower alleys. Is this a one-way street, do you think? You almost wish for an oncoming car. Anything really that will force the car to stop so that the CD player will have a chance to play its music for just a little bit longer. But no luck. No oncoming traffic inside anywhere. That's weird. There is not can confirm. As you look around, your first impression is one of surprisingly idle? Innsmouth is an old town, even by New England standards. Many houses seem to be from the 19th century but are in good condition, or they have at least received a new lick of paint not too long ago. It's just that the roads are not worryingly narrow. Your side mirrors have been scraping along the brick walls, and you think it's really impressive that Lonnie's bus isn't getting seriously damaged by any of this. Wait, how narrow are we talking about? Whoa, how close was that? He says after scraping around a corner. Man, I've got real bus surfing skills. Lonnie's enthusiastic voice repeatedly calls through the white noise that has settled in your brain. Together, you and your brain decide to jump out of the driving car at the next best opportunity. I'm not sure that's a good idea. With quick steps, you make your way into the town center. Oh wait, did he actually jump? With quick steps, you make your way into the town center in the direction of the coastline. Not long ago, the sun was bright in the sky, but already the fierce wafts of mist are creeping into the streets. The air feels heavier and the sun can no longer penetrate the fog. Time to think about where you want to go. You slow down. Leaning your briefcase against a wall, you start pacing along a quiet alleyway. Tuck and roll and you'll be fine. Are you speaking from experience? You've got an important choice to make right now. The city center is in the north. Even from afar, you can see the outlines of the old and ornately decorated buildings in the main town square. Here you should find the police station, the main shopping street, and of course the town hall. As a coastal town, Innsmouth of course also has a harbor. During your research, you found out that this is a busy area which includes a dreamy beach. You expect there to be mostly tourists. No comment. The old town, according to your research, has the only hotel in town, the Gilman Hotel. You all decide to check in and freshen up. Just what you want to set off your hard lips into your throat, where a moment ago your briefcase was leaning against the wall now is nothing. Always keep an eye on your possessions, people. Disturbed, you walk up and down the street, peer into alleyways and over a fence, but there is no one in sight. Foolish tourist, I know, right? Did you actually bring your briefcase and put it down here, or are you going mad? At least you can take comfort in the idea that the thief will be surprised at what he will find when he opens the briefcase. Quite a lot of scrunch-up underwear. I mean, I'm guessing that's what he brought, right? You think you can cope with the loss of your briefcase? Lucky that you didn't take anything actually useful or valuable on your trip. You check the alley one last time. Apart from a pair of moving curtains on one of the windows, you don't notice any clues that could lead you to the culprit. It doesn't matter now. It's important that you keep moving. There are only a few hours left until the sun goes down. Kuroko give the thief pants. Maybe that's what he wanted. The first thing you visit is the hotel, the harbor. I mean, the hotel is like the good idea, because I mean, you probably need to like check in and all that bullshit. Hark! That is not a creepy part at all. You've actually made it to Innsmouth. Time to find out what secrets this place is holding. Like so often at the beginning of an investigation, you're a little bit excited. Your gut feeling tells you that you'll be here for more than one night, so you need a safe place to stay. And room service charges are usually very easy to hide in an expense report. No thanks. Even from this distance, you can already see the pointed roofs of the hotel, which was rated on the internet as the best hotel in the state. Reassured by the reliability of these online reviews, you head south towards the old town. Walking along the increasingly uneven, paved path, you begin to notice some strange statues. As you keep walking, it feels as if these strange fish and sea creatures begin to surround you. None of this was in the online reviews. You start feeling uneasy. Perhaps it's because these figures are so lifelike, or because they are much higher up and far above eye level. They menacingly tower over any passersby. You can't help but to watch. Dun dun dun. What a rocky start to your journey. What at first glance appeared to be an idyllic park, on closer inspection turns out to be littered with stone totems observing your every step. In the distance you can see a stray dog gnawing on a dead bear, unless the Copley mask does somewhat look like a bird. In the background, the sound of seagulls is screeching, resembling a static noise. A sign with a hardly legible inscription, Gilman Hotel, points to a staircase overgrown with ivy. Suddenly, a smell rises up your nostrils that strongly reminds you of your old school days. Sup? A young voice asks. Hello? Oh, hello? Is your friend here okay? Is he fine? He doesn't look okay. He looks like he could use help. During your initial survey of the surroundings, you manage to meet three figures standing on the stairs. In front of you, in this very unusual city, a very typical picture presents itself. Loitering teenagers. Oh no, teenagers! The girl who just talked to you is leaning against a railing. Her hands are dug deep into the pockets of her hoodie, and her jet black, dyed hair only half covers her pimple face. Nothing unusual here? I doubt that. A step above her on the staircase is another girl who must have used the same hair dye as her friend. She either hasn't noticed you or simply isn't interested in anything taking place outside of her phone screen. Right in front of you is a small, spindly boy who looks much younger than the other two. He stands out from the others for another reason. His very peculiar style. Yes, style. A shock of platinum blonde, almost white hair stands out in all directions and could offer a comfortable home to a family of birds. His clothes are rather atypical for his age. A dirty, mud-green shirt, at least 2 sizes too big. This idiosyncratic look is rounded off by pinstripe trousers with suspenders hanging down on the sides, and a kind of frock on top of it all. This coat appears to be of higher quality than the rest of his clothes, with golden embroidery adorning the heavy velvet. The strange boy looks at you with big, bright grey eyes. His whole body seems to be trembling, as if plagued by electric shocks. For some reason, he now leans over to sniff at you. Sniff? Waggy waggy. Can I help you? Can I help? You ask, unsure of what's going on. The kid comes closer and starts patting down your clothes. Confused, you look at the older girl who was talking to you earlier. Sniffa! Yo, that's just Larry, she says by way of explanation. Ah, of course, yes, Larry, of course. How could we have... Yes, of course. Larry. Our good friend Larry. Now Larry is digging around in your pockets. You try to make him stop, but his little, dirty fingers manage to pinch something from you. He then quickly runs off into the underground. What the hell, Larry? What did he take? What did you take? What did you take? Run after her. The little brat thinks he can steal from you. Quickly you follow the thief through the underground. The park is even more wild than it seemed at first glance. Away from the main path, there are lots of dead shrubbery and illegally dumped garbage. More than once you accidentally run into one of the strange statues, which were set up in apparently random places so no one except the park-keepers got to see them. After a few hundred meters your chase slows down. You notice that you're not actually sure what Larry has stolen from you. You're not checking your pockets. Your wallet, and more importantly, the money in it, is still there, together with your phone, the photo of Tabitha, your chewing gum, and your lighter. What is missing are the house keys to your apartment in Boston. Oh, fuck. Annoying, but it's nothing you need right now. Apart from that, you have a cleverly hidden spare key at home, so you wouldn't be locked out. No, not on the doormat, of course. Everyone will check there, but nobody looks in the doormat. Huh? I mean, but still, you can't just let a stranger have your keys. Keep following the tracks. It's a matter of principle. Nobody steals from you and leaves to tell the tale. Okay, maybe they will, but you're determined to get this lousy rat anyway. Secret compartment in the doormat. You've been waiting a long time for this opportunity. Your whole detective training is going to be tested. Effortlessly, you find Larry's trail and follow it through the underground of the park. 15 minutes later, near an old, tall metal fence at the boundary of the park, the track divides. To your left, you see a beaten track. Someone seems to visit this corner of the park regularly. To your right, you see a fresh footprint in the mud, possibly from Larry. War crimes on a child, let's go. That online certificate finally coming in handy. Yes. Someone passed by here recently. Follow the fresh footprints. You follow the fresh trail along the fence. Tracking the prints in the damp earth, you're sure that you will soon find the kleptomaniac child. Thank you for the pants! As you walk, thinking about how to confront him, you almost fall into the canal that opens up in front of you. The park ends at a wall from which a drain pipe emerges. The pipe is too smooth for anyone to squeeze through. Even if Larry has come this way, he'd need to have incredible parkour skills to climb the wall of this pumping station. I mean, maybe he does. Thank you for the hydrate. Undecided, you look at the footprints. Look at the water? You look down into the canal. The water is murky. It has a green tint and it also smells like salt water? It seems as if this pipe is pumping in water from somewhere nearby, from the ocean. Maybe this is part of a factory or a pumping system installed below sea level. The pipe tirelessly spits the salty water into a small canal. Do you think you can recognize red streaks in the water flowing into the canal? Huh? But you're probably just standing in a strange spot and see a reflection of the water surface mixing with the colors underwater. Or are chemicals being illegally disposed of here? Pollution of the groundwater could explain why the local residents have so many ulcers and deformities. In your mind, you make a note to inform the appropriate authorities. The health authorities, the public order office, all the authorities you usually don't like to have dealings with. You look around the bushes, the little canal and the path which abruptly stops here. Strange, but there's no sign of Larry. Annoyed, you turn around and walk back. It stinks that the pursuit ended in failure like this, but at least you can get away from the stench of the sewage plant. Yeah, that seems like a win. Why does a little kid want to steal your keys for an unknown apartment in a completely different city? You decide to just have them marinate and let this whole episode rest. Oh no, the scared of Tears of Monsters corporate apathy. For real. After this failed chase, you return to the path that leads to the hotel with as much dignity as you can scrape together. Those kids are assholes, true. Don't be too hard on Larry. He comes from one of the founding families. The goat girl greets you as if that will explain anything. Yeah, it doesn't really explain anything. You decide not to say another word about this little incident and instead try to do something a little more productive. Mention your case. You show the picture of Tabitha to Liz. The girl's eyes widen. Whoa, dude, gross, super ugly. Whoa, Liz, pot, kettle, black. You know what poverty can do? Do you know her? She's gone missing. Hey, I don't know all the kids in this town. You really miss poverty and its unpredictable mood swings. She has disappeared, maybe in danger. You may feel too cool and hip to care, but this is a serious matter. And anyway, nothing is more hip than sharing information with a private investigator. Liz scrunches up her face, almost as if in pain. Yeah, that's kinda cringe. She seems to consider how much social status she's losing simply because she's talking to someone who uses words like cool and hip. How do you do, fellow kids? Your skillful torture method works. Well, I think it would be smashing if you could help me out. Really radical. Snitching is cool. Nothing is more cute than being a snitch. Rich writing in hand. They simply can't take any more of your drought speak and caves in. Hey man, lots of people go missing here. Chill! Liz offers you her quote-unquote cigarette. That does not look like a quote-unquote cigarette. Snitches got stitches. Do I take the cigarette? I shouldn't take the cigarette. The quote-unquote cigarette. Thank you, but I really need to solve this case. Thanks, but I really need to solve this case. Ulysses approves. You've got to cut yourself loose from the restraints of the man. She points to the lighthouse in the distance, or perhaps the moon? They're in charge of everything. We're only puppets in their sick power games. What? They fog up people's heads with their smoke screens. They're after us and our brains, and people line up like lemmings. But I'm too smart for this. I'm not one of these sheep who will show up for the slaughter voluntarily. Like the mayor. Man, the adults here have no clue. They're all puppets, especially my dad. He doesn't get my vibe. What are you talking about? None of this makes any sense whatsoever. You've seen conspiracy theory videos that were more plausible. You awkwardly rub your neck while Liz looks at you satisfied and somewhat grateful. It's tragic to witness how a young person's brain is wrecked by drugs, you think to yourself. You should set a few things straight. Look, kiddo, weed, anime, and hip-hop, they're all running your brain. My recommendation, stay in school. You don't have the face for a modeling career, no matter what mommy says. Shit! You had to go there, my dude. This is visibly peeved, and with that your conversation has run out of steam. Yeah, that will kill any conversation. Whoa, child murder! Liz goes off into another rant about brains and sheep, and you turn to Henrietta to show her the Polaroid picture. You press it on top of her phone screen. Do you know this girl? Evelyn, she says without emotion. You're tempted to call that a success. Her name is Tabitha. Have you seen her? No. She still hasn't looked up. She moves to the side a little so that she can continue looking at her phone. She ignores you. Take her phone so she can't ignore you. Damn, you steal her phone. I don't think we'll get anything from the phone girl, to be honest. Unless...